On Saturday, the 4th of February 2017, people gathered outside 10 Downing Street to protest against the latest events in British politics regarding Brexit. After a legal battle, Parliament gave permission to Theresa May and the government to start the process of leaving the European Union in March. Still, there is a lot of dissatisfaction among British people.
I'm here because I'm a passionate Remainer or Remona.
I did vote Remain. I don't think that we should leave the EU, but if we do, we should at least have a say on how we leave it. I feel that there were a lot of lies, a lot of propaganda from both sides.
The reason why we got swayed the other way, as in like Brexit, is that there was a lot of hype around sovereignty.
It's the end of anything progressive, you know, like as if it matters what nationality you are.
At the rally, one of the speakers was Nick Hopkinson, who is the chairman for London for Europe. This is the London section of the European Movement UK, which is the UK's oldest pro-European pressure group.
In part, why Britain voted for Brexit in the referendum last year was in part the harsh austerity, and essentially people were looking for a channel to express their dissatisfaction with harder times, and EU is an easy target.
The main message for the government at the protest was, give the people the final say. Theresa May has been pursuing a hard Brexit strategy, which means the exit from the single market and the end to free movement of people. This will affect a majority of people in the UK.
I've been fortunate enough to live in Germany, live in Austria. I've worked in Romania and Hungary, and I have a Dutch daughter-in-law, an Italian daughter-in-law, and a Hungarian daughter-in-law. My grandchildren have great-grandparents from 8 different EU countries, and you must remember that their great-grandmother, who is my mother, who is 87, was bombed by the Germans 70-odd years ago. And that's what the EU is all about, making that change from being bombed by part of Europe to being part of Europe.
My wife is German, and the 3.5 million EU citizens here weren't allowed to vote. They were in the Scottish national referendum. The British people living in the EU weren't allowed to vote.
Through most of the campaign, the polls were in favour for the Remain side. When the results were announced on the 23rd of June last year, many people were in shock and the government had no sufficient plan.
We still don't really have a plan. I mean, Theresa May's released that document the other day, and apparently 65 million people are on her side. What about the 48% that voted to remain, who she still hasn't really properly acknowledged yet?
They have been given an impossible task. They have been given a promise based on lies. They never thought they would have to implement it.
We have the case of an unelected Prime Minister. We have a government that was only elected by 25% of the available electorate, and they are representing very much a minority view. They have followed what is known as hard Brexit.
It has nothing to do with democracy, and I will fight the result for as long as it takes for people to see sense.
We were showered with lies from the rallying cries, and I'm sorry for what we've done. Would you take us back?